Hi everyone, Bob Hamel back here at my house. Look outside. Yeah, there's a little bit of snow, first snow of the year. So what does that mean? It means that we're coming up on the holidays. Christmas is fast approaching. And so what I want to do today is two preparations. One that I do all the time, which is the first one here. I don't think I go a week without having this available because we eat a lot of it. It's a hummus, but it has a little different type of flavor added to it. I take some chipotle chili. Then what a chipotle is a smoked jalapeno, and the smoking process, and it's dried out. But so I rehydrate it in water to get it plump and juicy. And so we're going to add that to some chickpeas, some tahini, some roasted garlic. I love my roasted garlic, and some fresh lemon juice, maybe a little bit of black pepper in there, and buzz it up in the food processor and serve it. Usually you can serve it on crackers, pita crisps, but I usually do it, and I'll show it, on cucumber slices. So it's really delicious. It's a nice combination. That smokiness that you get from the chipotle is just phenomenal. And if you want to do a variation on that, if you don't like the smoky flavor, you take a red pepper and roast it on the grill and take the skin off, and then just add that in with the chickpeas, and you'll have a red pepper hummus. Again, nice flavor, a little bit sweeter, but it's really, really delicious. So let's get started. So I've got my chickpeas here. This is 1 can, low salt. Put that in. Got some tahini. This is 2 generous tablespoons of tahini. And tahini is a sesame paste. It's not overpowering. Sesame oil can be very overpowering at times, but this is a little less sesame-ish, if that's a word. So let's get that in there. Got my roasted garlic. It's 1, 2, 3, about 4 cloves of roasted garlic. You might say, wow, that's a lot of garlic, but it really isn't, because in the roasting process, it kind of draws some of that really, really strong garlic flavor out, and so it kind of moderates it a little bit. So we're going to throw that in there. And then my chipotle. Let me show you. This is what it looks like. It's a dried jalapeno, dried smoked jalapeno. But I'm going to take one. And the funny thing about these is, like most peppers, depending upon the amount of capsaicin in it, they can be really, really hot or not so much. So I'm hoping that one's not so much. I've got my lemons. I'm going to use the juice of 1.5 lemons in here. Okay, just squeeze this bad boy in. The lemon just brings about a lot of brightness and acidity to the mix, and it's just delicious. You know, you really kind of need it. It's always good to use a strainer because there's about 6 seeds in there already. So let's get some more here. One of the tricks that I do often with lemons is, depending upon the time of year, they can be really hard to squeeze. So I just take them and throw them in the oven for about 20 minutes at about 250 degrees. That softens them up. They come out real good. So let's do this. And I'm going to buzz this in 2 stages. So here, I'm going to do it. I want to get the consistency of everything really well mixed first, and then I'm going to add olive oil. Okay. All right. What did they do wrong? That's what I did wrong. I don't have it working. Let's see how this looks. It's coming out good. It definitely needs the olive oil. You're going to want to scrape the sides down so that you get all the chickpea in there. for Christmas, I'm going to get a new one of these. All right. It's beginning to get nice consistency. Now we want to smooth it out. Drizzle some oil. Let's do that a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, I forgot my pepper, didn't I? Well, let's get some pepper in there. So I like my black pepper. You could add red pepper flakes. If you want to increase the heat of this, you could add something like red pepper flakes or maybe cayenne, but I don't really want it to get to be too spicy in that respect. All right, let's taste. Let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good. All right, let's show how we're going to display this. So very, very simple preparation here. Let's get our, you can see the consistency is very creamy. Just like this. Get a little bit more on top. Spread. Try and make it look pretty. Okay. And this is how we're going to have it tonight. So, chipotle hummus with some cucumber. Let's give it a taste, right? So the cucumber adds a little bit of brightness, freshness to it. Oh yeah, that's so good. All right, that's one of the preps for today. I'm going to clean this up, get everything ready to go again, and we're going to make the second preparation for today. Okay, back in a minute. So the next thing we're going to make is, this is a really, really nice festive Christmassy, New Year's, holiday type dish. It's called a cheese torta. It's based with cream cheese, goat cheese, and some recipes call for butter, and I've made it that way in the past, but I just don't like the texture of the butter. I think it just makes it a little too heavy. So what I substitute instead is a little bit of homemade yogurt. You could use Greek style yogurt, unflavored, but it's delicious. When we had our catering company back in the mid-'80s, early '90s, we would make so many of these things. Oh God, I just got tired of making them, but this just shows you how popular they were. So I've got one box of cream cheese. Just gonna go right in there. And then we're gonna put in some goat cheese. Now, the ratio of this, I could use all of this, but I'm probably not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to use maybe half and then maybe another quarter, just because I want to figure out the consistency. I want to get it so that it is it's more consistent. This is an eye kind of thing where you have to eyeball it to make sure that the consistency is where you want it. So I've got my goat cheese here. Let's cut through the whole thing. There we go. Just gonna squeeze it out. Goat cheese is one of those things that people either like or they don't like. I happen to like it. It's just one of those flavors that sometimes people just don't like. So anyways, I'm going to get rid of this. Back in a minute. Okay, back. I made one of these before, and I've got a little extra left over, so I'm going to include this in. This is going to help. You can see the texture of it. It's very creamy. It's very loose. But again, the flavor just knock your socks off. Okay, let's get that. Now let's get our yogurt. I'm just going to do 1 tablespoon of yogurt for now. If I need more, I'll put more in. Okay, so let's. I want to see what it looks like and what it tastes like. The creaminess is there. The flavor is there. Oh yeah. You get a tang from the goat cheese that you don't get from another cheese. And there's a little bit of tang from the yogurt. It's not as prominent, but boy, that's got real serious flavor. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up, move the food processor out of the way, and then we're going to start assembling this. And it's done in a mold. Depending upon, you can use anything you want for a mold. I just happen to have this. This is actually from our catering days, 1986 to 1992. This is what we would use when we were making these for the displays. So line it with a little bit of saran wrap, push it into the edges, and then we just start layer upon layer upon layer. So be back in a second. I'm going to clean up a little of this, and we'll get right together on doing the assembly. Okay, all right, I've got my mixtures. We're going to create a cheese torta. It's going to be layers. It's going to have a layer of this goat cheese, cream cheese mixture, a layer of some oven roasted tomato. You could use sun-dried tomato if you want. Personally, I find sun-dried tomatoes to be a little too chewy. And so this is just, I've taken 3 tomatoes, cored them, got rid of all the liquid in them as much as possible, threw them in the oven for about 20 minutes at about 350 degrees, softened them up, and then I just buzzed them in the food processor to kind of get a spreadable tomato. Then we're going to put another layer of the cheese down, then a layer of pesto. And the pesto that I have today, pesto can take on many, many forms. This one is a garlic scape pesto with garlic scape, obviously, pecans, olive oil, and Parmesan cheese. And basic pesto, basil, pine nuts, Parmesan cheese, oil. This is a variation of it. There's 1,000 variations of pesto, but that's what we're going to use. So we'll then put in another layer of the cheese, and then to make the base, I have some provolone cheese that I'm just going to place on top and cut around the excess, and boom, it goes in the refrigerator, and it's there sits for about 12 hours, and then we bring it out and eat it. So anyways, let's get a look at this. I'm not going to make the layers too thick. I did that the last time and they just get too thick. So if you can see, I'll show you this after I spread it out. I'm going to try and push, using a spoon, a tablespoon, push the cheese all the way out to the sides. So you can see it looks like that. Now, let's go with a layer of the tomato, all right? I'm gonna get another spoon, hold on. The tomato, you want it to be as dry as possible. So I'm just going to take it and all this is olive oil, some black pepper, and roasted tomato. So just going to put a layer of that in. And we're going to do, excuse me, do just like we did a moment ago. Spread it out to the sides. You need a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. So what's so festive about this? Well, it's the colors of Christmas. You get green and red and a little bit of white in there. It's also, I think, the color of the Italian flag. So we got that. Let's get another layer of this. Okay, let's just, again, you want to hold it, push it off to the sides. If your saran wrap starts to move around on you, one of the things that I used to do, because we would make, like I said, catering, we'd make dozens of these. I would just take tape and tape it all around so it doesn't move. A little catering 101 trick. Okay, that's looking good. That there. Let's get our pesto. I'm using up all my spoons today. So the garlic scape pesto it's good. It's kind of got it's not too oily. I don't like them to have too much oil because the oil will just all drain out. So this has a nice, so good. Oh, the flavor on this is just phenomenal. So let's put this in. You don't need a lot because it travels well. It's got good flavor, and you don't need a lot. Just one layer. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go for our 5th layer of the cheese. And at this point, you can just pack it in, because what we're going to do here is I want to get it pretty much up to the top of the rim. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Doesn't that look good? Okay. So you want to have a base. What kind of base? Well, this is an Italian kind of dish, so I get a slice of Romano. Just take it, put it in, layer it on, and just push the excess off with your finger. That's going to go right to the rim. Take this, cover it. That's going to go in the refrigerator for 12 hours until it firms up. It might take less time than that, but I usually like to let it sit overnight so that so it all has a chance to, the flavors kind of get to meld together and absorb. And so this is going to go in the refrigerator. Let's show you what it looks like when it's all said and done. Now, I made this 2 days ago, and some of the oil has seeped out, but that's okay. It's going to have really nice flavor. There we go. Do we want to cut into it? Yes, we do. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, yeah. It's going to have a nice... Let's get another plate. Oh yeah. So it's, you can just see that there's a layer of pesto, a layer of the sun-dried tomato, and the 3 layers of the cheese. Yeah, this is, I gotta taste this. Hold on, I need to get a cracker. Alrighty, let's try this bad boy. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit, get all 3 layers, just spread it on. Oops, come back here. Is it messy? Yes. Is it good? Let's find out. Oh yeah. The creaminess of the cream cheese, goat cheese mixture, you get a little bit of that depth of flavor from the pesto, brightness from the tomato. It's got really, really nice balance, and yeah, it's good. Alrighty, so that's very simple preparation, don't you think? Goat cheese, torta with garlic scape pesto and oven roasted tomatoes. All right, so that's our show for today. I honestly hope everybody loves this. These are very simple, easy preps to do. Let me know if you see the show and you like the preparations. Send an email to WCTV.org and let everybody there know whether you like it or not, or if you want to, and if you have something you think that could improve it, let me know. So anyways, thank you everybody. Hope you have a great holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the next year. Take care.